Hello, and welcome back to this episode on today's podcast. Controversial week. Very, very hard week to take in. A lot of movements with the Black Lives Matter protesting.
Yep.
Here in the Valley, a lot of people were exposed with sexual assault cases. You know, we'll touch a little bit on those topics, but with today's episode, I have very good friends of mine, my best friends.
My name is Kevin.
Enrique.
And hopefully we can give you guys a little insight and a little voice on what the hell is going on. So, this week, I don't even know what to think about this week, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Did you guys go to the protest?
I went to the one in Palm Desert.
How was that?
It was cool. It felt powerful, man. Like, first of all, the whole Corona thing, I was scared, so I was trying to keep my distance and with everything. And apparently, like, there's this person that says that's getting tested for fucking Corona that went to the protest. So that's circling around. So I'm kind of scared about that. But you know, it is what it is. If I got
with you?
No, not with me. But like in the Valley, apparently there's like rumors that like someone's getting tested that was at the protest and like it's Corona. But I'm pretty sure it's just rumors.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Well, from what I heard, there's been a couple cases at some of the places, like fast food places. I heard that the McDonald's here in Cat City actually had somebody test positive for it. And I've also heard that there's been 2 active cases in Walmart, the one in Palm Springs.
See, that's something. I feel like the whole Black Lives Matter overtook the whole Corona thing. So now nobody's really worried about the whole Corona thing.
Yeah. I haven't gone to an actual protest yet, but we did go visit LA to see like the aftermath.
Yeah.
Well, I had the intention to protest, but you know there wasn't any like big protests going on when I went. But everything looked so different out there. It looked surreal. It was like a movie, more or less. Like everything was just boarded up. It's just like BLMs everywhere, like spray painted, and it's just like the streets were different.
Yeah, it looks like a
yeah.
movie, like some like anarchy type of thing. You know, like people putting things up and not like no one's on the street. We recently took a trip out to Huntington. You know, thanks to Kevin with his credit card game and his financial. You know, knowledge. Financial
life hacks.
Yeah, because, well, actually, you want to explain that? How we did that?
Yeah, so we ended up basically booking a free, stay at a really nice hotel, you know, right by the beach. It was the World of Hyatt resort, the one in Huntington. And the way I did that was basically by racking up enough points, you know, through the credit game, more or less. And then, you know, once I racked up enough points, I think it was about 20,000 points, I was able to book that free night for all of us to stay. And it was super legit, like, because I have this credit card, the World of Hyatt credit card.
Yeah, and those 20,000 points, for the people that don't know the point system, what does that translate to in money?
In money, I would say I think every point is about $1. Wait, I don't even know. No, not like that.
Say it again. Come again.
Actually, I don't really know the actual translation, but I think every point is a cent. I think that's what it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Every point counts about a cent.
Okay, so every point is a cent.
20,000 cents.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So but the thing about points is you can actually end up booking an even higher value because I used 20,000 points, which should translate to around $200 worth of value, but the hotel that we stayed in was booked in at $350, that night. So I ended up getting an extra $150 worth of value off of those $200 worth of points.
Yeah, and that's all because you're a part of the whole membership in the credit card thing, right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so I was saying the World of Hyatt credit card, there was a sign-up bonus when I applied for that. It was around, it was $20,000 points for the sign-up bonus, and then you get another 20,000 after you spend a certain amount of money on the card. So it was the first $3,000 that you spend, you get your 20,000 points. And then after another 3,000 of spend, you get another 20,000. And so that card also gives you a lot of good perks, such as you get Discover status. So they give you free water. Some hotels will give you free Wi-Fi.
How do you spend that? How do you manage your perks and all that?
What?
Do you just be swiping, or how you be doing that? Do you strategically plan how you're gonna spend that, or what?
I mostly just save up enough points and then kind of just look at hotels that I want to stay at. So I've been planning this for about a year. Ever since I got my first credit card, I was you know what, my end goal with this whole game is to travel for free. And I basically barely just took my first trip with that.
Tight. Yeah, I mean we went there. I mean the hotel was dope. That was the first time I stayed at any hotel by the beach. So the beach was a 3-minute walk away, 5-minute walk away. Like, it really wasn't nothing. So it was honestly dope. And then, but one thing I will say, we took it, when was it? When we go? What was the dates?
I think it was a Thursday.
It was a Thursday to Friday.
Yeah.
It was cloudy as shit.
Yes, it was cloudy. The weather wasn't it.
Yeah.
It was just cloudy.
Honest. It was cloudy, but it was cold. It was cloudy, and I wanted some heat. You know, some California heat.
Yeah. So for next time's trip, we definitely gotta look at the weather a little bit more. But you know, like, it's been a little bipolar these days. Like, even the residents out there were like, you know what? Like, it's usually not that cold. Like, there's usually a lot of sun, and it's like at least like decent. It just happened to be that a specific day.
Yeah, but it is what it is. I mean, I enjoyed my time. We went, enjoyed the beach. We went to the little boardwalk. You know, saw people protesting. We didn't necessarily partake in it, but I can't partake in it, at least because of my whole legal status. The government silences me, you know. But it definitely felt
we were fucking
different.
popping bottles on the edge of the table.
Yeah.
So that shit was pretty fun. What else were we doing?
I thought the whole deal was tight. You know, like, just because I had the card, they managed to give me a later checkout time, and they also didn't mind like giving me more guests to stay at the hotel. Because when I originally booked it, I booked it for 4 people because they wouldn't let me book for more. And then once we got there, they were like, oh, like, you know, do you need any more guest passes and stuff? And I was like, well, originally we were gonna sneak in like a couple of other friends. We are gonna sneak in Enrique and Miranda and Brandon. But, you know, like, they were just so nice. Like, their customer service was fucking awesome. And then when I got there, I was like, you know what? Like, oh, like maybe 11 is a little too early. Like, can I stay another hour? And they were like, oh, yeah, since you're a Discover's member, like, you know, we'll give you that extra hour. You know, I probably could have said, like, 1 o'clock, and they still would have been okay with it. Like, they were just super dope. Like, customer service is, like, top level. And they also brought us, like, an extra pair of, like, everything, like, sheets and pillows and stuff. And then, like, they were very good with the fact that they didn't, like, want any contact. So, like, they ended up leaving, like, a big bag of, like, what we asked for.
Oh, yeah, because the whole... See, the thing is, we forget the whole Corona thing is going on, so once they knocked and they left, we were like, oh, they just ding-dong dates. But now, in reality, they left the whole bag with, like, clothes and the pillows. And not clothes, the blankets and the pillows. Yeah, and the towels.
Yeah, and then they called us, you know, once they
they
felt safe. It was a call. It was pretty tight. But yeah, definitely recommend, you know, for those of you who don't know anything about the credit card game or anything, you guys are welcome to hit me up.
Hit him up. He is the man. He's helped me out. You know, one app that I will say everybody can download is Credit Karma. He showed me it. You know, it's out there. It's free. Use it to your advantage.
Yep.
One thing I will say on this trip, it definitely opened my eyes to the way people think. Because on this trip, we went down to the pool. And we met these 4 employees, but they were staying at the hotel. And according to them, the Hyatt Hotel gives you 12 free nights, I think, per year. Don't quote me on it. I think it's 12 free nights per year.
Wow.
But
employees?
Just
they get some crazy perks like that.
Yeah, just for being employees.
Yeah.
So I mean, honestly, that's tight. That's what I learned. So if you ever want to like travel or anything like that, work at a Hyatt, save up and do your thing, like, you know, you can pay your hotels for free.
Yeah.
But one thing it did open me up is like the different backgrounds that we all grew up in, and I want to say, I want to put it out there because it's the first time I experienced an Hispanic person not really acknowledging that other people were suffering. So, and that was the first time I encountered it. You know, the people around me in my household, at least, they're like, they know when injustice is an injustice. You know, but to this girl, her argument was, I hate that they just make it all about black people, and that off the bat, like, it threw me off. You know, like what do you mean all about black people? Like, and with that, like, I didn't judge her. I didn't come at her like, what do you mean not? Like, all right, like, what is your thought process behind it? Like, why do you think that? And not saying like I could have changed her fucking mentality right then and there, but I was really curious why the hell an Hispanic person, you know, someone else of another minority is saying that about another minority. Like, you know, our backgrounds and cultures might not come the same, but like at least the community and like what the struggle has been, we all know what the fuck we've been through. You know, it's different for everybody, but as a community and as a whole, like, the struggle has always been there. So it kind of just felt weird for me. And, you know, and in her defense, it was like, it's all about black people, you know, it should be about, like, Asians, Hispanics, and everybody, all lives matter. You know, and I try to put my little 2 cents in there, like, yeah, like, I get it. And to me, the only reason I feel like other movements haven't had, you know, the power that the Black Lives Matter movements have had is because, you know, especially in this country, in the history of it, you know, black people were slaves back then. You know, that's all those all that repercussion that's just exploded right now.
Yeah.
And that's what people are fucking fueling into right now. That's what everybody's trying to get out there, because we don't get it. We get the Hispanic struggles, you know, but it's not as prominent as, you know, the black people struggles.
Yeah, and I just want to say, like, I feel like, you know, the black movement has actually, like, it's not just now, and it hasn't been happening recently. It's been happening for so long.
Yeah, and that's what people don't get. Like, it's the whole momentum, and, like,
it's just a build-up.
Way back when, ever since, like, Rodney King, the first video that came out of police brutality, like, ever since then, people have been moving cars trying to be activists on it.
Yeah, I mean, like, you see, like, NWA, like, you know, like, they were, like...
Yeah, they did it with the music. Like, they try to find their niche. You know, everybody had their own niche. You know, I'm okay. Like, if you're gonna put into, like, in the basis of niches, like, he was the #1 speaker because he spoke to everybody. Like, he spoke for everyone on change.
Yeah, he really gave them a voice.
Yeah, like, that's the thing. Giving people a voice, you know, the people feel strong. And yeah, you know, I'm not really with the whole looting and robbing, but at one point you got to do something to make a statement, you know. At least for me, like, I don't know about y'all, like.
I agree. I mean, what you said, what Black Lives Matter, I agree with that. I agree with a lot of these things, but I also feel like there's a lot of people just fronting. Like, this is the first time they really are posting shit like that. You know, you can tell who's genuine and who's not. And I feel like just tweeting shit isn't always the answer either. So that's why I feel like it's better to actually actively do something about it. Unless your tweet, you know, happens to go viral and, you know, somehow it helps somebody. But I think that, like, proactiveness is even better. Like, supporting black artists. You know, going to just any black-owned business. That's even better than tweeting about it.
Right.
Okay.
That's better than posting a black square, in my opinion. You know, that's why I don't directly just be tweeting, you know, Black Lives Matter every single day. But I'll put a black artist, you know, I'll shout them out on my Twitter, or I'll do something, or I'll go somewhere where, you know, it's black owned or something like that. I feel like that's...
Yeah, because even making playlists and stuff, so check them out.
That's a proactive way, yeah. Yeah, by the way, there's hella talent in this valley. Just this morning, I was listening to, shout out, Lords of Dogtown. So it's Lords with a money S.
Yeah.
A money S.
Yeah, we recently got put onto them, and honestly, we'd love if you guys would come on the show, you know, talk about what the hell you guys are about. You know, we've heard y'all from the valley, and then we from the valley, so let's see what's up, you know?
Yeah, I've been bumping them since, what's your name? Friend JC?
Yeah,
like,
his name is Hasael. I called him Jay-Z because I couldn't pronounce his name, you know, that's the backstory behind that. I just couldn't pronounce his name, so, you know, Hasael turned to Jay-Z, but now I can pronounce his name.
That's the guy we met?
Jay-Z, yeah, that's the house photographer. That's our house photographer,
Jay-Z.
by the way. Shout out to Jay-Z.
Shout out Jay-Z for putting us on. You know, there's definitely a lot of shit going on. What about the whole... Like,
okay, so what do you feel about the whole, like, that's we touched on the Black Lives Matter movement, and even for that, I feel like we all agree that it's a powerful movement, and it's gaining momentum and it's going somewhere. But how do we feel about the whole police brutality? You know, that the whole defunding the police, you know, as people are saying nowadays, like what's your take on that? Because some people think it's like, you know, fuck the police, and in reality, yeah, fuck all y'all police that are fucking up the fucking minorities. Like, on some real shit, I'll put that out there. Cause what the hell is that? Like, you're supposed to be protecting, not fucking hurting.
Yeah, my take is, like, there's definitely something that needs to be fixed in that entire system. Like, it's either, like, throw the whole system away and just, like, you know, start it back up and, like, you know, just completely refine it.
That's what they're trying to do. What was it, Minneapolis?
In Minneapolis, I think they already cut some funds out of the 200. Yeah, the 200 billion that they had in the funds, they cut that already. So they're trying to move those funds to, like, other programs to help, you know, the city, basically.
Yeah.
You know?
And Andrew Yang, I don't know if you guys know who that is. He's a politician.
Shout out Andrew Yang.
I wish he would have been president, but that's besides the fact. Actually, let's not get political. Andrew Yang tweeted, he said that they should be called guardians. And I was also seeing this. I don't know if you guys know who Sandra Bland is, but she's this girl who got pulled out of her car. She got arrested, and then apparently she committed suicide in jail very recently. She was a black woman.
Was that the one that...
I've heard her name.
This is so bad. Like, we're saying, was that the one? Like,
Yeah.
what the hell? I mean,
Like, there was a lot.
shouldn't even be saying that. Like, but, you know, in this case, is that the one that, like, they found her hunger? Like, she hung herself?
Yeah, she hung herself.
So,
I remember
like,
that one.
It was a case.
But all they did was pull her over for, like, a traffic stop. And the cop admitted that he just, like, he sped up behind her and she thought that he was trying to go after someone else because he was driving so fast. So she pulled over without a traffic signal and to try to let him pass, and he just pulled her over. And that's how that whole thing happened. But, yeah, it's basically because cops have a different attitude when they put on the uniform. They just feel like they're above you. But if you just switch that whole mindset to feel like they're protecting you, then I feel like, you know, it'd be a better system.
Yeah.
Especially if we feel like they're protecting us. They always come looking like soldiers and shit. If they came looking a little like, you know, they were trying to help out the community, and, you know, that shit would help a lot of problems.
Yeah, I can see what you mean with the whole Guardian and, like, people having a different attitude. I was trying to find an article right now real quick, but it's not going to pop up because it's such a general search. But I do remember there was a study, and I want to say Berkeley.
I think
I'm not sure.
I think you're talking about the Stanford prison experiment.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. Not Berkeley. Yeah, the Stanford
Stanford
prison experiment. Like, if you actually look into that, and, you know, for those that don't want to, like, read into it and all that stuff, there's an actual live action movie play out thing that they made on Netflix, I believe.
Yeah, I saw it.
You can go check that out if you don't want to read it. But basically, the whole study was, it was students. They gave some power and some didn't have power.
Yeah.
And you know, this is a school. Like,
yeah, one of them was the guards.
Yeah.
And then the other ones were like the prisoners.
Yeah.
More or less.
Yeah, basically like that. And then, you know, in the experiment, it showed if you give people the power, like, they use and abuse that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like, so that's just in the study, you know? Like, now you're giving people guns. You're giving people the actual, like, the okay to say if anything goes south in your own, like, criteria or jurisdiction, like, go off.
Yeah.
You know, like...
The thing about that experiment was that it was supposed to last 2 weeks, but it actually only ended up lasting, like, I think 6 days. Just because, like, it got so much out of control.
It got intense. Yeah, it got really intense. Like, that was the whole... I mean, and that's the whole point of it. Like, experiments like that make us see human behavior, you know? And even if, you know, whatever your thoughts from the experiment, whatever your thoughts are on anything, you know, human behavior does affect a lot of the decision-making. So, I mean, that experiment opened my eyes, at least, to the whole point of view of, like, giving cops, you know, that power.
Yeah, I mean, leading into that, in my personal opinion, I feel like no amount of training will fix, like, a bad person. Like, I just feel like there needs to be a better way of screening those people that join, you know, the
I don't
police
think they're
academy.
bad people. I think it's a bad system.
Okay, but then what would you say about, like, the actual cops that are coming out there, like, claiming that white supremacy?
No, well, first
you
of
feel
all,
me? Like, they're actually, like, claiming, like,
I think
I don't even know what the hell their sign is. Like, they're
people
saying
just
the
be
okay
saying
or some shit.
just for the fuck of it. The other day, I heard people getting mad because Joe Biden said to shoot people in the leg instead of, like, to kill, like,
Right.
which is how they're trained. They're trained to kill.
Right.
Any conversation I've ever had with anybody prior to this whole, you know, Black Lives Matter movement that's happening right now, everyone would have agreed with that. Like, yeah, shoot him in the leg.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that argument about,
but,
like, oh, if someone's coming at you, just shoot him in the leg. Like, they're not gonna be able to move. What the fuck?
When Joe
you know?
Biden said it, people, especially people on the left, they really blew that shit up. Like, he said, shoot black people in the leg.
Yeah, but
he was just trying to say
is, like,
there's better ways to, like,
Yeah.
if you're actually truly scared and he just has a knife, like, from a distance you can shoot him in the leg and he won't get closer to you. If you're scared that he has a knife, you don't have to shoot him in the head or like
in the body.
Or in the body, you know?
Yeah, because, I mean, a leg shot is easy to come from. Like, whatever, regardless, you have a shattered bone, shattered whatever. Like,
Yeah.
it's easy to come back from. And, like, either way, like, you know, we're not condoning just shoot whenever
Yeah.
the fuck you feel for it, but, like, it is better than shooting someone in the head or in the fucking torso.
But if they didn't do anything and they're not armed and they didn't do anything and they didn't commit a crime, then in no situation,
yeah,
it's not even good to shoot them at all.
Yeah.
Especially because in other places, like they handle situations like this very, very differently. Like I don't think I've ever heard, like, maybe I'm not, you know, well informed, but I don't think I've ever heard like the UK or like people from fucking Europe going bad shit wild sometimes. Like,
I was listening to this guy on a podcast, and he said that he used to live in Canada, and on the back of the police cars it says "people helping people." So like they just have a totally different attitude in other countries than they do here. When people join the cop force here, the police force, they're doing it like honor, almost like the military, and they feel like they own people, but it's not that way. That's not. You're basically supposed to be working for the people, and a lot of these people are fucking hurting the people.
Right.
And that's what's.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, a lot of people don't feel safe around cops, and like it shouldn't be that like that. Like, you should feel protected when there's cops around. So a lot of people like just see cops and then they fear them, or they want to hide, and they just.
See, but in that case, at least for me, like growing up, like I don't know, you know, my parents didn't speak English while growing up.
Yeah.
So like for them it was more of like, you know, you be respectful, and like, you know, if like there's a cop behind us, like sit still and shit like that, you know, like don't look at them, you know. And I always viewed cops, at least for me, like not as bad people, but as someone you don't want to fuck with.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and that's I don't think that's the way we should view them, you know. Like, why don't I want to fuck with a cop? Like, a cop is there to like help me out in cases of danger, you feel me?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, with that being said, I've actually had some pretty good experiences myself with like the good cops. You know, like, I don't believe that all cops are bad. But, you know, I've had some good experiences with cops before. Like, I remember one time I got in a car accident, and they were pretty much supposed to tow my car. And then in that specific case, like, he pretty much said, like, you know what, like, we're not going to tow your car, like, because if we tow it, you know, like, it's going to be this, it's going to cost you this much to get it back and stuff.
Yeah.
So they let me go, you know, with a little, like, warning.
Yeah.
And in that case, I was just so blessed to, like, have that specific cop, you know, like, deal with, like, you know, that accident.
Yeah, no, I feel that. I mean, you know, obviously there's cops out there, and there's been cops out there that come out forward and they're like, oh, like, you know, like fuck all the bad cops. Like they're actually coming forward in their uniform and stuff, and that's dope. Like, shout out to y'all, but it's just, you know, it's the system. It's
just
everything
too much,
around it. It's too much. It's hard to control, you know.
Yeah.
See, like,
just feel like with massive scale, like, certain systems crumble if they're not good.
Yeah, and then especially if the system, you know, has someone like Trump in office, like now you're feeding like the
Trump
people
is scary,
more.
bro.
You get me? Like, now you're feeding into that, like, that mentality of like, like, you know, we're here, like, fuck the looters, fuck the thugs, and all this shit. Like, you know, they're basically just at this point like all against black people. You know, like, that's basically what Trump is doing, and there's hella people out there protesting what they believe in. You know, just the whole point of good and bad, and, you know, racism is bad. They're just protesting, like, cut that shit out.
Yep.
You know, like, it is what it is. Like, if you don't want to talk about politics, you don't want to talk about the government, you don't want to talk about Trump. Every human knows what's good and bad. If you tell somebody like, oh, is stealing an apple from the store like good or bad, they're gonna fucking say bad. It's stealing. You get me?
Right.
So why is it so hard to comprehend, like, the whole treating somebody different just because of the color of their skin is bad?
Yeah.
You get me? Like, that whole concept is just bad. Like, everybody knows good from bad.
I feel it.
You know, even a little kid, even a little baby, like, they feel embarrassed, like, when they do something bad. You can tell, even dogs. My dog has gotten into the fucking trash can, ate that shit, turned it over, made a fucking mess. You know, I get home mad as fuck because I have to clean it up, and I'm over here, like, you know, cussing up a fucking storm. But they even feel it. Like, she goes to hide away. So if a dog can understand what's good and bad, and that's from a damn trash can, then why the fucking humans comprehend that? And we've made it on the fucking moon.
Yeah, I just imagine your dog, like, with its head down and shit.
Yeah, bro, like, it's legit like that, like, head down and just scared
Like,
away, bro. And the thing is, like, she doesn't even, like, hide. She has like in between, like, the leg chair and, like, the table. I'm just like, all right, like, you swear. Like, what the hell? But nah, man, life truly feels very, very negative, especially social media. Every time you go on there.
Yeah.
Bro, fuck.
Yeah, definitely.
I have to start getting off that shit every day.
Yeah. Well, for me, what did it is, like, you know, there's been a recent, like, you know, like,
Resurgence.
Resurgence of, like, events in the valley, and, like, you know.
Yeah, because a lot of things are opening up. You have to keep in mind that coronavirus is technically up, even though it still exists. You know.
There's 112,000 people have died from that. I heard that shit today.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fucking people.
I think
bro. That's a lot of people.
I went to
What is
Ross the other day, bro. The line was insane. Like, what happened to not having jobs, yo? That's what okay, honestly, do as you will with your money, but like,
Yeah.
you know, for my Hispanic community, like, at least I understand, like, a lot of us are in certain situations where we're living on a day-to-day basis, you feel me?
Yeah.
And just because, I don't know, this is my opinion, just because, like, Ross opened up and has, like, hella deals, you know, it doesn't mean we should spend a lot. Like, I was seeing hella people, like, carts like fully loaded on that damn thing, and I was like,
Yeah.
damn, bro, like,
Well, I mean,
no, I wish I could fucking do that.
Yeah, the one thing I will say is that, like, if you have money to spend, like, you should.
Oh yeah, by
you
all
should
means do
spend
that
it.
shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because like it's really good for the economy. You know, like the whole economy shut down for so long, and you know, just to get that money circulating again in like in the movement, like that's just for the best of like, you know, our economy more or less.
Yeah, that is. I don't know. Just to me, like, I guess I see it in the whole perspective of like as a community, like I know a lot of people are living on a day-to-day basis. It's just like, damn, like y'all really just out here spending money, you know? But no, go off.
No, but yeah, I checked out Ross the other day. It was yesterday, and like everything was just empty. Like everything was off the shelves.
Yeah, a lot of people went off.
Yeah, so.
How do you guys feel about the recent events here in the valley? I know this is kind of random, but it's the elephant in the room. How do you guys feel about people getting accused here in the valley?
So there was one. There was multiple. There was actually multiple. There's people, but there was one story that resonated with me personally.
Yeah. Well,
keep it real,
well, first of all, before we head into
clarify, because they could take that shit bad. How did it resonate with you?
It resonated with me because
you're gonna get caught up.
Yeah, no, it resonated with me because I know both of the people. You know, these people were one of them was close to me, and like one of them still is close to me. You know.
Okay.
But whatever the story came out, it affected me because I'm a director on Illusionist and Amazing, so it became a whole big deal. But personally, you know, I don't want to touch on the topics, you know.
We're not going to name any names.
You know, it is what it is. You guys know who you guys are. Like, if you got accused of it, you know, own up to your shit. Be a man about it. I'll keep it real. From my point of view, you know, be a man about it. You got accused, own up to it. But to me, I just felt like my hands were tied, if I'm being quite honest.
You didn't know?
No, it's not even that I didn't know. It's just the fact that, like, I didn't know how to take it. You know, this is the first time that something's ever been blown up like this in my face. You know, it was just like, fuck, like, oh, shit.
Did you feel like you had to choose sides?
No, it wasn't necessarily of like, choosing sides. Like, you know what's right and wrong.
Yeah. Like,
that's it. End of the day, you know what's right and wrong. There was no choosing of sides. There was no nothing. It was just a pure shock.
Yeah.
And it was more so a shock because I couldn't do anything about it. You know?
Right.
I couldn't go to this person and give her all those fucking magical words and be like, healed. You know, never gonna feel that shit again. You know, because I'm never gonna know what it is to experience.
Right.
Like, it's the whole like empathy part of it. You know, like being in their shoes. Like I'm never gonna know what it is to be like living with that trauma.
Right.
You know.
So
the same with like black people. Like I'm never gonna know what it is to be a black person in America. You get me? And it's the whole like them living that day-to-day basis. You know, living with what happened on a day-to-day basis that like affected me, like that I couldn't do much to help out, you know.
Right. Yeah, and
to the people that were affected by it.
And what I want to say is like for those like ladies that came out, like you guys are like hella fucking strong for doing that, you know, because like it takes a lot of like guts and like just everything to be able to like, you know, post something like that on social media, like, and then when you talk about it, obviously like it brings back the pain, you know, just like you're tearing open that wound a little bit slightly, and yeah, like, you know, just to have that confidence and that like this esteem to like post and like, you know, like post your story, like that's just massive.
Yeah, you know, honestly, shout out to y'all. Like, you know, whatever way people felt about it, but you know, shout out to y'all. Like, it takes a lot. It takes a lot.
A big person who like started that like entire like thread was Liz from Twitter. You know, thanks for like giving, you know, everyone else like the voice and the encouragement to like speak up.
How do you feel about the people who are denying the accusations?
Because the thing about the whole like just sexual assault, you know, or even just rape, I feel like a lot of people do the whole, you know, the justice system, and they're like, you know, not guilty until, you know, proven.
Yeah.
You know, and then, you know, because a lot of the times, you know, false accusations do come out and stuff. But you know, if the people who have gotten multiple accusations, you know, and they haven't owned up to their shit, then what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, because there's certain people that popped up like a good like 3, 4, 5 times.
Some
So
people popped up 8, 7 times.
Then what about the people that popped up once?
Well, I mean,
see, but that's the thing. Like that's the thing. If you popped up once, even if you popped up once, whether the situation was iffy, whether you remember it any differently, like. I feel like the thing about Twitter, you know, and the thing about girls encouraging girls, like, you know, that's dope. It's all about the encouragement, but I just necessarily feel like if you got attacked by it, just, you know, own up to it, make a little statement, make whatever comments back in it, but like trying to like defend your position and being like, oh, what the fuck, that wasn't me, like that automatically like incriminates you in some which way. Like if you put like your chest out, you know, and like pop out your ego and you're like, oh no, fuck that, like she wanted it, this and that, like what the fuck.
Yeah, I mean, and you know what a lot of people did was just like, you know, they turned the shit private. They took their shit off social media.
Yeah, or they deleted it, and it's okay, like.
Okay, it's like okay, so we only have one side of here, you know, at this point, like it's like.
Yeah, like you know.
But do you guys not believe that we should need evidence?
Well, it's hard to get evidence. Like, what kind of evidence do you need? Like.
I mean, it's not. You could actually get evidence. You can't get much evidence with sexual harassment. But with rape, you can get evidence. Right. And even if you don't get evidence, well, I mean, do you believe that whoever gets accused has the right to feel like they're innocent until proven guilty? Or do you feel like they're automatically, that's what they did?
See, that's complicated because at this point that's the thing about
it.
Like, that's the whole thing we're going back to.
What if we got accused? Like, let's just say.
See, but that's the thing. Like, if we got accused, like, if my ass got accused, like, I'd go out. I'd fucking make a video about that shit. It's like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. Like, this person is saying this. Like, this. No, I know, but
people have tweeted back. It's like basically making a video. It's like.
Yeah, I feel like it's the way you do it. It's the way you tweet back. It's the way you go about it. Because the people that did get accused didn't even tweet back. Motherfuckers just deleted their shit and were like, fuck it, I'm not gonna deal with it.
Right.
You feel me? Like it's the way you deal with it. Oh my bad. By the way, those are my dogs in the background. We're in my room, but big chilling.
I mean, like, yeah. I just feel like if they have something to say, it's for a reason. You know, like a lot of these girls, like if they're saying it and they're putting it out there, you know, like it's for a reason. I doubt it's like a lot of them, it's just to like. For any bad intentions.
And I'll bluntly put this out there. If you're a girl and you made up a false rape accusation, that is very fucked up because you can ruin people's lives with that shit. Like, there's been cases of people going to jail and then all of a sudden it turns out it was fake and they just spend like hella years in jail. Like, that's fucking years and people are not gonna get back.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some of those like cases. You know, there was a specific college student. That, you know, he played football. He was like, you know, he was on it. He was really out there. Like, he was doing good and everything. And then there was this false accusation. Like, the girl even said so. Like, oh yeah, like it was false. Like later, that he just pretty much ruined his life. And then like at that point, you know, he can't get back to where he was. You know, because of that accusation. Like, he lost his scholarship. You know, he wasn't allowed back on the team. Like, he was expelled from the school, and you know, like all that education just gone. Like, it really does have a big effect on those. You know,
yeah, and I feel like our positions, even if they are different, we all have, you know, very similar like views on it. You know, like I think, you know, we're against the whole false rape accusations because that shit ruins your fucking life. But we're also against the motherfuckers who be doing this shit. You know. Yeah. Like, just don't be doing your shit. You know, no means no, and all the other shit that you hear on fucking Twitter and Instagram daily. You know. Yeah. Like, it's as simple as that. It is what it is. No means no. Don't be doing your shit. And if you got caught up, own up to your shit. Be a man about that. You know, like y'all over here. Right. You know, over here like, I'm a man. I get bitches and shit. Well, alright, motherfucker. Then own up to your shit. Simple. Right. You know.
And then also, like, if you're at a party or anything, like, please take care of the person that you came with, or like the people that you know, like your friends, like, you know, like. Yeah, just please keep an eye out on them, because you never know what can happen when you leave them alone for a second. Yeah. Especially if they're drunk, you know, like always just be out there. Yeah,
because a lot of these accusations did come from parties. Yeah. A lot of them did come from, like, you know, I was at this party, or I was there, and like, you know, we're not blaming like the girls for being at parties. Like, you know, go out and have fun. Just fucking watch out. Like, you know, we all know there's danger.
We're blaming the guys. However, I know there's guys out there
Yeah, you know, like
there's guys out there looking for the opportunity.
Yeah,
you feel me?
like to fuck, like that's their sole intention. Like they're like, oh shit, like all right, let me try to slide in here. Like nah, like no, that shit ain't cool. Well, honestly,
I'd say this about kind of wraps it up.
Yeah,
bro.
this wraps it up. Some things I do want to say. A little bit about us, because I feel like we haven't touched what exactly Block 760 is. We are a entertainment company, and basically our mission is to help people give that platform and give them that voice. You know, we have different personalities, and there's a fourth person missing. He's not here, but shout out to Brandon. He is our editor and animator and illustrator. We're four best friends, and we're hopefully trying to give you guys that platform. So if you're an athlete, if you're an artist, if you make something dope, if you make art, if you make tape that looks fucking dope, hit us up. We love to meet you. We love to talk. You know, we all have different views. You might not agree with one of us, but you know, we're civilized people.
Oh yeah.
right. Over here, like you're free to express. You know.
Yeah, you know,
it's like we're not gonna bash on you. Like
it's a safety zone over here.
Yeah,
you know,
I'm a big believer of like, you know, you can totally be cool with someone, respect them, like them, and not agree with everything that they think of. You know. Like,
yeah.
Like that's a big belief for me.
Yeah, like sometimes I don't agree with him, I don't agree with him, but we somehow make it work. And you know, look at us, we're recording a podcast and putting ourselves out there.
Hell
So
yeah.
yes, so from my room to the Coachella Valley and to the world, this is Block 760 signing off.
Peace.
Peace
See
out.
you, bro.